welcome back to another episode of O'Fallon Life on Air. O'Fallon's premier podcast. Still might be the only podcast, but that's why it's the premier one. Today we are joined here with O'Fallon's Volunteer Services Division staff. We have Katie Jordan and Nikki Lowe, who have graciously agreed to talk about all things volunteer here in the city of O'Fallon. And it's April, and April is Global Volunteer Month. So we're going to talk about all the things that you guys do with our residents, with our boards and commissions, and also upcoming events, and how O'Fallon residents can become involved in volunteer services. So first off, thank you guys for joining us here and willing to talk about volunteer services. So
thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Tell us, I guess I'll just leave it right up to you guys. Tell us about volunteer services, and then what does that division here in the city do?
Okay. So to start off, our division is centralized, which is kind of different from what you might see from different municipalities. What that means for a potential volunteer is that we're a one-stop shop. So if you want to volunteer in, let's say, the recreation department or even the streets department, you don't have to go to those departments to look for your volunteer opportunities. You come to our division to figure out what's available to you, and we help make that happen for you.
So if a resident, I want to volunteer for the police department or at the Renaud Center, don't go there. Come here to City Hall to volunteer services.
Correct.
Now, they're not going to get stuck planting trees when they want to do clerical work. You're going to make sure they get to there,
That's
but you are the
correct.
kind of the hub and clearinghouse for all things. Okay. And why would someone want to volunteer? Like, what do you see normally with all your volunteers if their reasoning behind volunteering?
They get to help at a local level, so they're getting to see their impact pretty immediately. If they're, a creek behind their house doesn't look the way they think it should, they get to create a project or be a part of a project that cleans up that creek. So they're helping make their neighborhoods more inviting. They're helping make their parks more appealing to them and everybody else with them. They're getting to meet their neighbors. So it's more of, a big community that they get to be a part of.
Okay. So I was going to try to roll that into what do they get out of it, but it sounds like the volunteering, it's sufficient reward, right? So they're volunteering for an interest they have, and so it's automatically or should be giving back to them. What do you guys get out of this? Let me ask you this. What do you guys personally get out of this as far as working with the volunteers first?
So I've always been a community-driven person, and to be able to work in this field and specifically in the city of O'Fallon, I still get to live out that dream of becoming, a community member, staying a community member, and bringing people involved in that community-driven world. So for me, it's really inspiring. It keeps me motivated to want to keep that vibe of the community very positive and people working together for that common goal.
And we looking at some stats last year, I had written down here, in 2025 alone, you had 1,987 individual volunteers work here through the city in various departments, which equated to almost 11,000 hours of service through the volunteer
Almost, Tony, almost.
almost 2,000 people at almost 11,000 hours. So explain, what are some of those different things that they're doing in those 11,000 hours?
So there's a ton of things those people are doing. Anything from a park cleanup, the stream cleanups that I already mentioned. We have close to 50 parks and rec events that these volunteers are coming out for throughout the week, on the weekends, helping with their registration, their event setups. We even have people that come out and, play holiday roles. They're helping set up the celebration of lights. There's so many options, plus all of our board members, they are all volunteers.
Okay, mention the board members. Explain that, so that we have different boards and commissions and all that kind of stuff. How does that work with volunteer services?
Correct. So the boards, commission, committees program, it's a little different than how we typically run things. Now, that is a mayoral appointed volunteer position.
Okay.
So if you are interested in a board, we still, let the residents know what's available. The applications go directly to the city clerk's office, and it is a mayoral decision after that. But throughout their time on a board, they stay connected as a volunteer through us. We help, manage their hours, keep their account active, let them know of upcoming opportunities so they can be involved in other ways if they want to be.
Okay. We said 1,987 individual volunteers just last year in 2025. Do you have a percentage of that almost 2,000 people where they're volunteering? Is it majority recreation, majority landscaping, those kind of things?
I think it's a pretty good split because, I mean, one of our events coming up next month, Katie has 150 kids coming out for just 4 hours. They're going to be there. But then, like I said, we have 50 Parks and Rec events. So I think it's pretty evenly split. The Parks and Rec events are always shorter time frames, but there's so many of them.
So it's a pretty wide split. I mean, you can go all across the spectrum of different volunteer opportunities.
Correct.
It's spring now. It's April. It's obviously Global Volunteer Month. Give me some of the rundown of what we have coming up. So the folks that are listening or watching right now to this podcast, and they're like, I want to volunteer. What are the next things they could volunteer with?
Ooh, Tony, it's one of my favorite times of year for volunteerism in
Perfect.
O'Fallon. So April is a big month, Global Volunteer Month. So we are, spending a month recognizing all that the volunteers do. So that'll be exciting. We don't want to spoil any surprises. So I'll leave that as a wondering question for everyone. First coming up in April is Mission Clean Stream. It's an environmental-based event. We clean multiple creeks throughout O'Fallon. This is an opportunity for really anyone with any ages, any background, no specific skill set required. There's a lot of Boy Scout troops, civic groups, student groups, adult groups, families, individuals who come out to this event. And we have a lot of returners every year. So it's super fun. People get to get messy and dirty, and they really enjoy that, and so do I. So there's one. Okay. And then later that month, we have our version of Earth Day. Earth Day is nationally April 22nd, but we have our event on that following Saturday, April 25th. And each year, 100, 200 volunteers come out to plant flowers all across city properties and parks. We also get a lot of returning groups for this event as well. It's super fun. The community building environment is very forward-facing. A lot of people develop new relationships as well as us as a division. And we can't wait to invite people out to those events soon because they're about to be released.
All right. Yes. Who can volunteer, or can anyone volunteer might be a better question.
Yep, anyone can volunteer. We have an event for literally anyone, a project for anyone. If you're young, active, you're wanting to really jump in there, like Katie mentioned, we have a lot of outdoor projects going on, planting flowers, pulling weeds, whatever you can think of. If that's not really your vibe, you need something a little slower. We have projects where you come in and you help departments. We can do anything from stuffing envelopes, stapling playbills for O'Fallon Theater Works, really anything you can think of.
All right. Is there a minimum age to volunteer?
It depends on the project.
Okay.
Certain projects is 18 and up, but really we encourage everybody. We have a lot of families who come to our outdoor projects and they'll bring, their toddlers. If their toddlers are interested in being a part of something, obviously we're going to make sure, if they're coming to Mission Clean Stream, they're not going to be in a stream that has steep hills. We're going to put them in a safer area, but no, there's really no age restrictions for the most part.
All right. And you said you don't need a specific skill set, right? If you enjoy the outdoors, we'll find an outdoor program for you. Stuffing envelopes, right? I mean, is there computer work that can be done for folks?
So one of the big things we do as a division is we collaborate with other departments. So we want to find their areas of where they need help and develop volunteer positions based off of that. So each position that's created may have a specific skill set needed. If a position is created in the engineering department where they're working and need help in their database, they might need to have some background knowledge in engineering systems. Other times, the tasks may be simpler, and somebody needing an engineering position filled may not need a skill set. So each position is tailored to what the needs are, and then we fill positions based off of that.
All right. What do you think your biggest volunteer event is each year?
So the Heritage and Freedom Fest is by far the largest event of the year, with more than 200 volunteer positions available over the course of 3 days. We have anything from helping out at the parade on the 4th of July. You can drive shuttles where you're taking people to and from the festival grounds. We have hospitality tents. There's so many options. They can help in the heat relief tent where they're kind of hanging out in the cool space, making sure people are staying cool, drinking water. There's a ton of opportunities, and that will actually be released in the next couple of weeks also.
Okay. And then at the parade, I've always seen like pickup trucks going down Main Street that has Volunteer of the Year, right? Is there some awards-based things here for volunteering?
So our division hosts a volunteer recognition banquet every October.
Okay.
There are a handful of awards that are handpicked, and those awardees each year are then invited to be parade marshals at the parade the next following year. So they know who they are, and they will be invited to be a parade marshal here soon. So it's always an exciting time for them and another way to be recognized for all their accomplishments.
That sounds like a really cool way to be acknowledged in front of thousands of people on the
it's been a long-standing tradition.
Okay. They all love it.
Before we get into tradition, we do have a topic we want to kind of transition to in a minute, but I do want to, you guys have sold volunteering very well here, I think, on the show, of reasons to get involved and how you can become involved, or what you can do when you're involved. But I guess the question is, how does one become involved? If somebody listening right now says, you know what, I'm sold. Katie and Nikki, they sold me. I want to volunteer. What's the first step, and what do they need to do?
So www.ofallonmo.gov/volunteer. So on that webpage, you will find us. There we try to get all of our current opportunities on there, as well as a volunteer application. Now, don't be scared of the volunteer application. That helps us determine what your interests are and where, you would best be suited placed as a volunteer. So we first encourage that application to be completed, and you can reach out to us directly if you want more information. We'll be happy to have those conversations with you. And then hopefully we'll get you placed to where you want to be, and we'll get you kicked off in the volunteer position that you want to start.
All right. What's the turnaround time? Pretty quick, or is it a long process?
It can be pretty quick, yes. Now, if it's a volunteer position that's kind of still in development, we might still have to cater a couple of things. Some positions require more screening, like a background check, that may take a little longer. Okay. So especially if you're wanting to sign up for an event, it's a very quick turnaround time. I would say 3 business days tops. And then for more of those more intensive positions where the background screenings are required, it can vary, but we try to get it done as quick as we can.
All right. With that, we're talking about people volunteering, right? They have free time, they have an interest in volunteering, giving back to their community. What about folks that are like required to do some kind of volunteer hours, whether or not it's for a different civic organization or for school? Can they work through volunteer services here at the city to do that? And if so, how do they do that?
Yeah, so same process, especially like students, if they have certain hours they're required to get through school, they go through the exact same process as everyone else. They just complete the online application, and then most of them have paperwork that we can sign at the event, or a lot of them will email it to us after.
Okay. All right. One kind of last thing I want to transition and talk about the volunteer services as a group here with O'Fallon is in its 25th year. Is that correct? You guys have been organized and doing this for you guys. You two have not, but
yeah, I can't claim that.
Right. One special lady here in the city has, and that is Kathy Halstead. And Kathy is set to retire at the end of this month. And she has grown this from virtually nothing, right?
Yeah, literally nothing.
Can you kind of give us a walkthrough of what that history looks like when and what it's evolved from in 25 years?
Yeah, would have been really cool to see all of it, Tony, but I was quite young whenever she started the program. Like you said, she built it from the ground up. She developed programs. She developed events. She's worked with all of the departments to create some really strong traditions here in O'Fallon. And after she has her last day, her impact will be felt for a long time. She will not be forgotten here.
And I think you guys as well, and Kathy is that very much, she's out there at almost all of these events, or especially, years ago when it was, she was by herself organizing and being out there working the events along with the volunteers. But you guys are very much a behind the scenes kind of group, it seems like, right? I mean, the volunteers are out there doing things, but you don't know the impact, but the city definitely feels it because you would know when it's gone. What is Kathy's impact in that? Like her role in bringing so much vitalization to the city through these volunteers?
I mean, she's had all of these citizens, be a part of everything that she's created. And people are now very comfortable with reaching out, and they know how to be a part of things because she's been so vocal and so out there with everything she's created. So it's very easy for people to walk up to City Hall and be like I mentioned earlier, I want my creek cleaned. Mm-hmm. Like I want to create that. And she's done all of that.
And for those that don't know who Kathy is, here with the city, that a lot of times you see her at different events, but one event that most people, if they've been to Heritage and Freedom Fest, have probably seen Kathy. If you didn't know who it was, you guys have run the shuttle service from the parking lot to the fairgrounds, and Kathy has been the champion of that for years. Every year she's out there from start to finish at the fireworks, in rain and wind and extreme heat over the years, and she's been out there doing it. And one thing that definitely doesn't go as noticed is that Kathy has not only recruited, staff, she's recruited volunteers. She's also relentless in recruiting her family, right? I know her husband has been out there, her children have been out there, and now her grandchildren are volunteering for the city and to keep that tradition alive. So with that, do you guys have a plan to bring Kathy in as one of your volunteers starting in May after she's retired?
We've hinted at it to her. She kind of gives us the side eye, but we know we'll be seeing her. She might step back and, want to enjoy her new retirement phase of life and travel in her RV. But, if it comes down to it, she's just a text or phone call away.
Will you two be sad or upset if you see her volunteering in one of our neighboring communities and not here in O'Fallon?
I don't think so. Absolutely not. She has done so much over the years. She should follow whatever path is going to make her happy in this next chapter.
All right. Katie, what's your favorite program that you guys run every year?
It's hard to choose one, but I like anything environmental focused. I'm just somebody who really enjoys being outdoors, making sure that we're clearing waterways so the wildlife can thrive. I like working with our local businesses and our local civic groups and school groups in those outdoor environments because it's just fun. They know they're making a difference in O'Fallon and they want to continue to do so. So I'm not one that really likes to be indoors all the time. So being able to experience the outdoors with them while making a difference is really rewarding.
All right. Nikki?
I love the outdoor projects as well, especially in spring when we've been cooped up. However, Cornucopia of Care, it is a food drive that Volunteer Services run. This year it's from November 2nd to November 20th, and we partner with local businesses, schools, and we raise donations for local food pantries. 2025, we had 47.5 million people that were living in insecure food households. And so I love that we get to bring something to O'Fallon and help a few families out over the holiday season.
All right, we've talked about a lot of things volunteers during this segment, but anything I failed to ask that you definitely want our listeners and viewers to know. So I'm open up to you guys.
Yeah, we have a pretty big event coming up May 9th called Pause for a Cause. We've been doing it for a couple of years now. We partner with local shelters and rescues, and we provide different supplies that they may need. Last year we did a big food drive. This year we're doing an enrichment drive, so our volunteers will be creating enrichment items. So if you love animals, we're hoping that a few shelters will be bringing adoptables to the event. Okay. So we'd love to have people come out and support them with us.
All right. Anything else?
Yeah, so my advice would be to anyone who might be hesitant on whether they want to volunteer with O'Fallon is to at least give it a try. There's no long-time commitments if you don't want to. You can come out for an event one time and decide whether it's for you or not. And, we're really passionate about finding opportunities that best suit somebody. So please contact us and we'll get them in the right direction.
All right. And one last thing, we also just came out the end of March was the spring edition of the O'Fallon Life magazine that hits every mailbox in the city. So that comes out quarterly. So always look for that for volunteer opportunities. You guys always have your opportunities listed in there. In the magazine, there's a little thing, it's like an orange V plus symbol next to any event. Not, it could be recreation, anything, but that tells you whether or not volunteers are needed or you're accepting volunteers for that.
Yep,
So
that's correct.
All right, I'm going to put you guys on the spot here. It's off script, but I'm going to give you one opportunity to go on record and just look at this camera over here. I'm going to start, Katie, with you. You're the senior person of the division. Tell Kathy a little bit of a goodbye, going away message.
All right, Kathy, it's been a long but quick 10 years, and thank you for being my mentor over the years and really ramping up my professional career. You've inspired me to want to take this career farther and continue to make a difference here in the community, so thank you for that.
Nikki?
Kathy, it's only been a year and a half, but it's been amazing. I have absolutely loved seeing everything you've created over the years and having you step in and show me how to create more, change what you've created. It has been absolutely amazing, and I'm so happy for you.
All right, perfect. Well, I will finish. Kathy, I just want to thank you for everything you've done for the city. I've been here almost 20 years in the city, and it's just in the last probably 5 to 10, gotten to work with you on various events and the things that you do, the opportunities you open up for so many people and for different departments to provide assistance is unreal. You have left a lasting legacy that will be felt for years to come, and you've raised a great family that is very supportive and has done a great job here in the city as well. So thank you so much for everything you've done, and be sure to visit every time here in O'Fallon, and we hope to see you at one of our volunteer events. So, and be sure to come back and let Nikki and Katie know how they could have done a little bit better if you'd have been here. So, we'll sign off with that. So I want to thank everybody for joining us today, listening to this latest version of the podcast, O'Fallon Life on Air. And be sure to click like and subscribe on whatever you're viewing, YouTube, Spotify, iTunes. And until next time, O'Fallon, thank you.